Welcome to Will We Survive 2049? My name is Daniel and I have recently survived a near-fatal car crash. I was and remain an optimist by nature. Today we are going to confront a grim reality, how the lack of effective action against climate change is driving us towards a catastrophic future. We'll explore the likely consequences of inaction, from economic collapse to ecosystem destruction, and the toll it could take on humanity's future. Let's dive in. The global community, through the Paris Agreement, committed to limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, above pre-industrial levels. However, the reality is that we are currently on track for a temperature increase of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. The above graph shows the probable increase in global temperature based on several scenarios. A recent report from the IPCC shows that the current emissions trajectory could bring about dangerous and potentially irreversible climate effects. Heat waves are already breaking records. Imagine cities like Phoenix, Arizona, regularly exceeding 115 degrees Fahrenheit each summer. This could become the new normal across large parts of North America, Europe, and Asia. The first graphs show the heat wave occurrence between 1980 and 2020 and the projected heat wave to 2050. The second graph shows the number of heat-related deaths by continent between 2020 and 2040. Such extreme conditions will make life unbearable without advanced cooling systems, creating heat islands where human survival becomes impossible. At 2 degrees Celsius warming, food production faces severe threats. Crops that are fundamental to global food security, such as wheat and maize, will see declines in yield. This will be due to the combined effects of heat stress, drought, and unpredictable rainfall patterns. The American Midwest, often called the breadbasket of the world, is at risk of losing its productive capacity due to prolonged droughts. Already we're seeing farmers losing crops due to extreme dry spells, leading to both economic strain and food scarcity. By 2050, over 5 billion people could face water shortages, and this map shows some of the worst affected areas. The Colorado River, which provides water to millions across the southwestern United States, is seeing record low levels. Meanwhile, in regions like South Asia, tensions over shared water resources could easily turn into conflict as rivers dwindle. Melting ice in Greenland and the Antarctic is accelerating. This contributes to rising sea levels, which are expected to rise between 0.5 to 1 meter by the end of this century. This graph shows the range of sea level rise from 2020 to 2100. This seemingly small change will have enormous consequences for coastal populations. In Bangladesh, a country with a significant portion of its population living in low-lying coastal areas, millions will be forced to migrate inland, leaving behind their homes and livelihoods. These are climate refugees, a term we will unfortunately hear more often as coastal areas in Vietnam, Florida, and the Maldives face similar fates. Our ecosystems are already collapsing under the stress of climate change. This graph shows the decline JN coral reed cover between 1980 and 2020. At 2 degrees Celsius warming, Nearly all coral reefs are projected to be dead. This means an entire underwater world, home to thousands of species, will be lost. Without these critical habitats, the marine food web will be disrupted, impacting fish stocks and human food sources. The Amazon rainforest, often described as the lungs of the earth, is also at risk. This graph shows the decline in the Amazon forest between 1985 and 2020. If deforestation and warming continue, it could transition from a carbon sink to a carbon source, releasing vast amounts of carbon dioxide and accelerating climate change even further. The economic and social impacts of climate change are profound. Extreme weather events, crop failures, and infrastructure damage will cost economies billions each year. The graph shows the economic costs of climate-related disasters from 2000 to 2024 and predictions from 2025 to 2034. In places like Florida and California, insurers are beginning to pull out, deeming these areas too risky due to frequent hurricanes and wildfires. Without insurance, many residents cannot afford to rebuild after disasters, leading to abandoned communities and economic decay. Tens of millions of people may become climate refugees by 2050. Displacement on this scale will strain resources, create political tensions, and increase the likelihood of conflict, particularly in already vulnerable regions. Climate change is not just an environmental issue, it is a public health emergency. Extreme heat can lead to deadly conditions, particularly for the elderly and young children. Recent studies show that if temperatures continue to rise, deaths from heat-related illnesses could increase dramatically. Cities like Los Angeles and Madrid will experience more intense and frequent heat waves, leading to a sharp increase in heat-related ER admissions and mortality. Mosquito-borne diseases such as malaria and dengue are expanding into regions that were previously too cold. This graph shows the projected spread of diseases due to climate change from 2020 to 2050. This means that even places like Southern Europe and the United States will face new health challenges. The challenges we face due to climate change are immense, but there is still hope. The time for action is now. By reducing emissions, transitioning to renewable energy, protecting our ecosystems, and helping vulnerable communities adapt, we can still prevent the worst-case scenarios. Join us in spreading awareness and demanding real action from policymakers. Every moment counts. Together we can create a future where we not only survive, but thrive. Thank you for watching Will We Survive 2049. Please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth discussions on the challenges and solutions to the world's greatest problems. Together, we can make a difference.